What's up, everybody? My name is Sophist. Welcome to the HXC podcast. It's July 7th, 2013, and we are here with everyone, the entire family. I guess we're going to start with Xizta. How's it going? What are you up to?
Not a whole lot.
Nothing? Nothing
No,
new.
not really.
Nothing new. Not even
Well,
like
I worked on the new website a little bit with you yesterday. That's about
a
it.
little bit. Well, there's a lot of it. We were in there for a while. No cluster
Yeah.
bombs this week to worry about?
There was one, but it wasn't me. Was it me? No, it was
It
Eduardo.
wasn't.
I'm
It
pretty sure
wasn't.
Eduardo.
No. All right. And then I guess since you guys met him last week, we have Squishei back on with us. We did some PTR testing with him again, so we figured we'd grab him for another week and he'd give us that an actual Raiders perspective on things, which is nice to have. How's it going, Squishei?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah, fantastic. I am tired as hell this week. I just got back from being an uncle with like 4 kids for the last like 12 hours, and I'm not having kids.
Did you dress up as a clown?
No, but I felt
Should've.
like one.
Think about how much more they love you.
Can you make any animal balloons?
No, I'm the worst uncle. I just give them sugar, and then they're all hyped up, and I send them back to their parents.
I could see you if you were like trying to make balloon animals. You would be like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers, where he just makes the bicycle and just like tapes the whole thing together with duct tape and hands the kid this like
This
monstrous
huge
balloon bicycle.
And this week back from I don't know what happened to you. Were you kidnapped by Trogs? What happened?
Yes, actually, I let them take me willingly.
Oh,
Whoa!
was it
Why
fun?
would you do that?
Just needed a vacation. Figured what the hell.
So how have you been? What have you been up to? Anything new?
Well, actually, I mean, I had to work, and it didn't really line up with the podcast, so that was unfortunate. But I did go back and watch it, and just in order to get this out of the way first, in my defense, Stockades is awesome. You guys decided to pick on me when I could not be here to defend myself, but I'm sure that somewhere in there could have been a love story somewhere.
Somewhere.
Lord Overheat and Hogger.
Yes. Give birth to a little Sparky.
Little Sparky. It's Turbo.
Yes.
Turbo's baby is Sparky. Which one's the? No, I'm not even gonna get into that.
Just last week. Let's move on.
All right,
Well,
so
after that, I'm around, like it's just been a little crazy lately, but I'm glad to be back this week.
yeah, that's part of the show, right? I mean, the hardcore casuals. I mean, we a lot of us have things that we do, and sometimes we can't make it, and we're here to basically show that you can still be good at WoW and actually have a life, which is
Yeah.
which is
Not
the
just
thing.
WoW any game.
Not
That's
that
true.
hard to do anymore with WoW, but yeah.
Any game. Well, Xista's still trying to be good at worms, but he's getting there.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't played Worms in a few days, so I'm saying like tomorrow that needs to happen.
We could do that. All right, I can handle that. I think
Maybe
so.
right after PTR testing or something.
I've been like shaking. Like I don't play League of Legends for like
You are
all of
addicted.
like an hour, and I'm like, I need to play more. Hello, someone? Rams? Hello?
Do you think you're gonna be that addicted to Blizzard All Stars when that comes out?
Do you think you're going to be addicted to balls, is what Sista's asking.
just I don't think maybe I don't know. It depends on what it looks like. I might. I really like Blizzard games, so I'll probably own it. There's a good chance I'll buy it regardless. I mean, the next
It's
game
probably gonna be free to play. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be the same model as League of Legends. So
yeah, that's true. I will. Yeah, I'll probably download it and try it and see if I like it. I mean, the next game I'm looking forward to is Hearthstone, so that's the one that I'll probably the next one that'll give me the shakes if we're not playing it for very long.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Squishy
Let's-
hates when we say mm-hmm, just for the record. So whenever you hear us saying mm-hmm, that's a little nod at Squishy.
Oh, good. All right, let's move on. Let's jump right into this lore segment this week. Let's do that first. He went well last week, I think.
Awesome.
This week we got Black Fathom Deeps.
Do.
Indy, or I'll throw this one to Xizta actually. Let's give us the basic overview before we jump into bosses and very specifics. Give us the basic overview of what this instance was like all about.
Black Fathom Deeps was a temple where the Night Elves had worshipped the goddess Elune, which is the god of the moon, and it was thought to have been destroyed, actually during Cataclysm. So when it, or no, not Cataclysm, the Sundering, which was when the Maelstrom ripped everything apart. So it was thought to have been destroyed there, and the Twilight's cultists, which were the same people, part of the Ragefire people, that group there, had come across it, and they started hearing whispers, very old god-ish related there, and they kind of moved in to investigate.
Yep, and they were drawn by like some, like you said, the whispers, some sort of dark energy.
Mhm.
Then they found a pet of the old gods, which ends up being a later boss, right? And
Yeah,
their
he was
basic
the final boss of the instance.
their basic purpose of being there is to protect this pet so that he can grow into something that would unleash evil upon.
Yeah, they
Asgard.
feel the old gods are going to return at some point, and that they're going to come back for this creature. So
Is this the first instance that we see the Twilight Hammer? Or is that what it is? They're the Twilight's hammer. Yeah.
it's, I think it's the first where they're actually under the Twilight's Hammer name. I know in Ragefire they were the Burning Blade or the Searing Blade or something, but they're very closely related. But yeah, this is the first of the actual Twilight's Hammer that we see.
Okay. All
And this
right.
is the first mention, I think, instance-wise, that we hear. It might even be through the game itself. I don't know, because I didn't play Alliance during there, but I know the whole zone before that, so it was probably in that area, related a little bit to the old gods. So this is kind of the first direct line we have to the old gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing of it is even as an alliance, you didn't really get. Not many people went out there to see that instance because it was just if you're not a night elf.
Believe
Why
it or not,
bother?
there was actually more quests for the Horde there than there were for the Alliance, and there's elephants upstairs.
They're back. Yeah, I remember leveling in there, and it was not an instance that you ran a lot. Like some of them you would keep running because you could get there easily as Horde or whatever. This one was kind of, especially in a PvP server, you
Oh, God.
you had to get through the Alliance to get there. So unless you were pretty adventurous that day, it wasn't something you would kind of wander off and do.
And not only that, but some of the tunnels look like they were dead ends when you're going down them, and they're not. You would actually like go in
Yeah.
and wind around, and it was really confusing to get in there. This was before Dungeon Finder was added, but but yeah, it
Ooh, the elephant fell over.
yeah.
It's
guess
Lizard
so.
breaking in.
And then
Pretty
wasn't
much.
there a couple of areas in there where if you fell off one of the like walkways over top of the water, you'd have to swim all the way back to the beginning and then like make your way again? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
there
that-
were some jumping puzzles and
During
stuff.
the
in there, too.
during the instance. Yep. Squishy,
Mhm.
did you do this? Do you remember doing this leveling as a
The original one, I remember getting lost in the entryway and never ended up finding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's dive into some of these bosses then. Let's see if they're in order here. Why don't you take us through? I don't even know if I'm going to say this right.
No, you're
Gamu Ra. Gamu Ra.
Probably.
Did you want to take us through what this guy is all about? What's he doing in this dungeon? I mean, I think they're all basically there for the same reason. They're all Twilight's Hammer.
Gamera was a
Sophist.
turtle. He's this big turtle sitting in the middle. Like, you'll probably remember it's just like this little island patch. This was right after the jumping puzzle that Indy was just talking about. You come in, there's this turtle sitting there, and the Twilight's Hammer, they kind of arrived there, and they begin tormenting this poor turtle and kind of like forcing him to do what they want, like breaking his mind, and they trained it to attack anyone coming in from the outside, try to defend the old god shrine that they had built. And he was located in this area called the Pools of Eskar. So it's possible that his name was actually Askar, and they named him Gamen-Ra. I don't know. That's just my speculation, but
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was there. He was there like typical early instance lore fashion. They put something between the beginning of the instance and the actual bad guys. They wanted a
Right.
defender of some sort, whether this one's not so subtle, but
Right.
this was just a straight up get through this big ass turtle if you want to come
Mhm.
get us. What about Lady Saraves? That's probably not how it's said, but I see that she was basically there to do kind of like research and ritual sacrifices. She had her own
Mhm.
little place, and they so that they could have protection from that pet. I guess that's what she's in there for. I don't remember her fight so much. I don't know if I'm getting her confused with someone else, because she's not the one with uh, the little altar, is she? Am I getting her confused
You're
with the?
you're thinking of the Murloc, I believe.
Yeah, I think I
The
am.
Murloc had the altar, yeah.
She's the one that had her own little like literally you went like underwater or something to
Yeah.
get to her.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yep. Do you know Squishy? Do you know anything about this rare that's in here? The Lorgus jet. I know we went over this very briefly, so I don't know. Maybe Xizta has a better
Yeah, I don't know too much about this instance.
at all.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I tend to skip this one. Bad memories.
It was
Most
Bad
people
memories,
do.
man.
You get
Lorgus Jet,
lost.
he didn't really have much actual info on him. He was just kind of there. He was there was a quest revolving around him for the Horde, and he's a rare spawn, and he had like one of 3 different locations that he could spawn in. And the thing that I found the most interesting about him, because there wasn't actually any much info on him directly, like, but he was a human, and he had lightning shield, and he cast lightning bolt. And to my recollection, there's no human shamans. So
Especially in vanilla.
That'd be shaman, not shaman.
oh, sorry, Olivia.
Yeah, I don't know. Like as far as this rare, he wasn't even. From what I remember, he wasn't even there for twink gear. Like usually, a lot of the rares had
No.
some sort of twink gear associated with them, or something that was like that was the reason they were rare.
Right.
But I don't remember a ton of people really going after Black Fathom for much.
The only reason you really hunted down Lorgus Jet was if you had that quest. And he was
Yeah.
a pain because, like I said, he had 3 different spawn locations. So you had to kind of clear into like this long winding cavern to see if he was there. If not, hopefully you'd catch him right along the main path. That was his most popular spawn. But
Yeah. Now, as far as the rest of the lore in this instance, did you see a connection between this and like when we were talking about, was it last week? There was a connection between the House of Nobles and the Defias Brotherhood, because there's this big overarching storyline. Here, it doesn't seem like it's really tied into much, other than the fact that it's the Twilight's Hammer cult.
it's
in
kind
there.
of setting up the Twilight's Hammer and the old gods themselves. So, as pertaining to what we've actually talked about so far in terms of instances, no, there's no general connection. In terms of when we're going to start hitting AQ and Cataclysm dungeons, there's a lot more connections there.
All right, so this is the foundation. This is where they said, "Hey, there's this group called the Twilight's Hammer. This thing called the Old Gods. If you haven't been paying attention to quests and stuff as you've leveled, this is where you kind of got a little bit of a taste of all that, and
Yep.
and to be continued in episodes down the line as far as that goes."
It was almost kind of slid in there, like under the radar, like you didn't pay much attention to it. So it was by the time you heard rumors of these old gods, but it wasn't until you actually went into AQ that like old gods became a thing. Like you didn't even know that they existed even up until Blackwing Lair. Like there was very, very, very minimal talk about them.
I know. Even with this instance, the weird thing that I always thought about it was that it was like I went in there and it always felt like I was done after that boss where you had to light the fires.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was almost like that pet, which is supposed to be the big evil presence in this instance, was like an afterthought. Like I was always
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We got to kill this Hydra thing. I forgot he's here." It was like every time I did it, it was like, "Oh, I'm done. We killed the big boss guy." Nope. Wait, there's this thing back here. So it always felt like an afterthought, even though it's supposed to be like the central part of this instance.
My favorite boss in there was always the Murloc, because he seems so out of place. Like, you're going through all this thing, you're fighting Naga, you're fighting Twilight Hammer cultists, and the Naga are kind of closely related to the old gods of the sea and the Night Elves in general, so that made sense. But then there's this Murloc, and it's just because it's an underwater instance that they have to throw a Murloc in there. But what I actually had found out is when they added the dungeon journal for Cataclysm, they actually gave him a little bit of a backstory. And they said when the old gods were calling Gelhast, I think was his name. Is that Gelihast? Gelihast? I have no clue. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that. It sounds German.
Yeah. But he pretty much forced his way in with these two swords blazing, cutting down Twilight Hammer cultist members, and just kind of built his own little shrine in this corner to worship the gods in his own way. And like a few of his followers were with him, and the Twilight's hammers were just like, "Stay there. We'll just stay there. That's fine. You could live there." And they left him alone. So, like, his background story is a little interesting, but it's at the same time it's very, he's just there. Who knows why?
Yeah, I don't know much that there is that's that interesting about Black Fathom Depths. It was just kind of like out of the way for the Alliance. It was in Alliance territory for Horde, and it was kind of confusing when you got down there. So it wasn't. I don't think one of those like it's not like Scarlet Monastery when we get there. If you played in vanilla, you ran Scarlet Monastery over and over and over again.
Except Graveyard, you probably only went in there around Halloween.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if there's much else to talk about here. Do you guys, Squishy or Indy, have anything that you remember is there a love story here, Indy? That we're missing?
I'm sure I could find one. Probably dig around and like make one up for you guys, but not that I know of. And as Squishy said, getting lost, falling off of things, the instance was just not the greatest, I think, for anyone that was not forced in. So, no, not from me.
I know Twilight Lord Kelris, he was just basically this guy. He was the one you were talking about where you light the torches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You fight him, but you find out he didn't really care about any of the people that were following him. He'd actually feed them to the final boss, Akuma. And he'd just be like, "Here, grow. We're gonna worship you." And yeah,
it was just
my people.
He was just all about his pet.
Yeah.
What would happen if the Hydra, Akuma, and the Murloc mated?
I don't even want to know. Like a 7-headed Murloc.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's a weird thought. In a picture.
Each one had a different Murloc calling.
What kind of noise would that make?
7 Murlocs.
I'm not even gonna try. Every noise that I make sounds like a Murloc. So I guess it would be perfect.
On that note, I think we're just gonna run away from this instance because I don't even want to think about that.
See what you've done.
What we've done. This was your doing.
Yeah, you brought that up.
No, it's because Indy couldn't come up with a love story, so it's her fault.
I should have thought about that ahead of time to try and contrive something in there with love between two of the bosses or
satire love. Satire, I don't know.
Orcus Jet he was probably getting around the instance since he had 3 spawn points.
All right,
That's
so we're moving.
Lightning.
We're running away, guys. We're not talking about Black Fathom Deeps anymore. We're depths. It's next week. I'm sure next week will be a little bit more. I don't even know what's next week. Do you guys know what's after BFD?
I think it gets worse. To be honest.
No, maybe we'll just do a 2-for-1 next week. I don't know.
What do we have to look forward to?
Well, if hold on, I gotta look it up right now. So I'm pretty. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think I do know what it is. I just have to look real quick, and here we are. Yeah, Home of the Trogs.
No Morgan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
This is going to be the best week.
There's so many love stories in there.
We're doing a 2-hour special.
Oh God, no!
How do you think they multiplied so quickly? There's so many love stories.
They're like rabbits.
We're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be okay.
I hate them so much.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
All right. Let's actually move on. We're gone. We're done. We'll talk about Trogs next week. It'll be the best.
Goodbye, Trogs.
I'm excited. Thank you.
I'm glad somebody's excited for Nomer.
I hate the instance, but there's Trogs.
The instance is terrible.
The worst.
All right. In-game store. That's the new thing this week. That was the big, a big thing that data miners find out, that there might be some sort of in-game store. Squishy, since you seem to be a little quiet,
Yes.
let's see. What do you think that this data mine thing? It was just an elixir, right? A leveling, an experience elixir
Yep.
boost, basically, and it said in-game store in like the little piece somewhere. And where do you think? Do you think that this is going to mean, we're gonna end up with a full-fledged, to like, go talk to this guy? You can add Blizzard points or whatever onto your account, and you can buy a level 90 character. Is that a thing? What do you think?
I don't think it's going to go that far. But for the whole goblin saying time is money, it kind of makes sense. For those people that can't play a lot, it will definitely help out with the whole leveling thing, or just another way for Blizzard to get money if it actually gets implemented.
Cash cow.
Yeah, do you think this is Blizzard saying, all right, we're gonna put this one item in there and just let people talk about it, see how everyone reacts, and this is a way for them to kind of like test the waters, without being like, oh, we weren't. I mean, it's in the PTR, guys. It's just an item. We haven't even. Is this a way for them to just say, let's see what everyone thinks about this, and we don't even have to own it. We can just say it's just a thing. It's not a big deal.
Maybe. But I don't know.
I also have heard before recently that it might be different markets, like just the Asian market or something
Yeah.
like that. What's the deal behind that?
Zarheim made the post about it and made sure to include the word markets, which kind of says that it's probably not going to end up here at all.
No,
So I don't think so. I don't think it's going to end up here, but I still would kind of want it because I like having alts.
yeah. Could they go like a different direction here? Like since the Asian market, they like that like grindy style of play, right? So maybe it's a way for them to say, hey, you can still grind if you want. Here's the experience boost. But here, it could turn into something like the game that I've been kind of addicted to, with like skins in League of Legends. Could it be like all like that kind of stuff? Like you can buy transmog gear that, instead of going to farm it if you don't want to farm it, or I don't know, something like that. You can get pets in there that are
They already
that
have
hard to-
pets and mounts in the Blizzard store, so how much different is it going to be from what we already have?
Well, exactly. I mean, they have been doing this microtransaction thing for a while. So, I mean, is it just... I mean, they could just implement this in-game as opposed to going to the store to do it.
It'd be interesting.
I don't think so. I don't think Blizzard would want to make an in-game store that, because what else are they going to put in it?
Yeah,
I don't think transmog gear has the same appeal to people as League of Legends, because League of Legends, you have the whole 2-minute loading screen, or sometimes 10 if someone has a toaster, of looking at the skin, and then you go into the game, and then there's different animations, there's different effects on the actual player. Whereas in WoW, it's just what's the most appealing piece of gear? Maybe
Well, what if that's
back,
it?
shoulders.
What if that's it? Like, you can change the animations on, like, your Frostbolt and make it look cooler or something. I don't know. I mean...
So, Warlock Greenfire?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, people have gone through big quests to get things of that nature. Is that something that you think people would be willing to spend some money on?
No, I think it would have to be an in-game quest, like they did with Warlock Greenfire to get that stuff. That probably could not go on the in-game market, because that would be too outgoing, I think.
I think I could see them going that direction. I mean, like mages could buy all sorts of different polymorphs. I mean, they already have a ton, but I mean, that would give, if you could find something like that for all the quests. Like, hunters can change the skin of their pets. Like, I have a bear. Now I have, like, Smokey the bear is it literally is a bear wearing a ranger's hat now, or something.
What if they just
Lord Overheat.
sold battle pets?
Yeah, that would Xizta would
That
Uh,
would break my bank.
There were so many of them. There are so many of them that like we just didn't see him anymore
be.
because he was just out working 5 jobs so that he could have battle pets that he
Yeah, they
couldn't
could-
play with because he
and
was
would-
working the
They give you
jobs.
like
My bank.
pet leveling boosts and stuff like that. Like you know
Oh,
what I mean?
God.
Like you use this elixir and now your pet's level 10. 10%.
I already do the PvP weekly quest to do 10 PvP battles just so I can get the 50% buff to increase my experience by an hour on that. I
It's
already
an
do it.
hour. You
Yeah,
did an
1 hour.
hour.
I have an hour, 50% increased experience for 1 hour.
Yeah. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see where this goes because I think there's a way they could do it, but they're going to need to tread carefully.
It would be tough.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
Do you
It's
think
too
this
much
is heading to free to play?
Yes.
No.
All right.
Sophist?
Unless they start putting more love stories in there, people are just gonna get bored.
What do you think, Sophist? Free to play?
I don't think it's going free
Possibly?
to play yet. I think
Eventually.
near the end of its life cycle, maybe they will.
Yeah, but in the
but
near
not-
future,
No, I don't see it going.
What do you consider near future?
There's 8 million people playing this game right now. Are they going to give up 8 million times $15 a month or whatever they get out of that? I mean, I
can
know they
do
don't.
something to. Did you play Star Wars Galaxies?
Yes, but it was.
Do you remember the
long
legacy
time
system
ago.
they had? If you were in the game for so long, if you were a subscription for so long, you would start getting in-game rewards. I can totally see Blizzard doing something along those lines where they're also supporting these microtransactions. They have a free-to-play game where they kind of bank on that, but then they have a subscription tier for veteran rewards. The longer you're in this program, you get mounts, you get pets, you get transmog gear, various cosmetic items. I could totally see that. And that right there, certain people, like if they know at milestone 6 months you're getting this mount, people are going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to want to be subscribed for at least 6 months. And then they announce what the next one is going to be. And people are going to want to continue to subscribe to get these mounts. So that's a way that they can make the game free to play, but also kind of keep players that want that kind of stuff in to get their subscription going as well.
or the
can
annual
see
pass again.
Yeah, that does it.
I'm still convinced this year's annual pass is going to be Hearthstone beta. Guarantee it.
That would be interesting.
You
I
still
don't
think
know.
there's gonna be an annual pass?
I think there's going. We had the data mine. We talked about this maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, where we data mined the Hearthsteed, and
Yeah. But
it's linked to an achievement for the Hearthstone beta. Now they're just not going to make that a random. Oh, you got in the beta or whatever. They're going to make that. Some people may get in randomly, but they're going to make that some kind of thing that people can sign up for, because they're not going to give these random people a mount and get people all in a tizzy going, oh, I want that mount. It's not fair. I didn't get in. Like, it's going to be something that's publicly available to anybody who wants in, and I could see them doing that for the annual pass.
I don't think they're doing another annual pass.
Would you sign up for the annual pass, Squishy?
If it had Hearthstone,
Yeah.
probably.
If it had
Yeah,
access to
that
the
would be
Hearthstone
the-
beta,
That would
Probably.
be the deal.
would you, Dom?
Of course, I'm going to be subscribed anyway, so why not get something free?
I know
out of
I
it?
would. Indy, would you do a year for
Yes.
access to Hearthstone? See, I mean,
Yes, for sure.
that's 4 out of 4. I mean, I know all of us play WoW fairly regularly, but there's not a lot of things that you get such unanimous support. I mean, chat. How many of you would do that? I mean, I'm sure a lot of you would that are in here at least. I know it's a small thing, but I think
It's
it's
not quite
possible.
on the same level as the Diablo, like a full game, but people.
Maybe
Yeah, I
they-
think they would need something else.
They
One
could.
more thing in the annual pass other than Hearthstone beta
Yeah,
to
I know.
really seal the deal on people.
You're right.
Maybe,
You're probably right.
Maybe it would also be Hearthstone beta and the new expansion beta.
I don't know if they do 2 betas though, and I don't think they would include another
Don't they would.
expansion as like a. Maybe they would. I didn't think they would do that with Diablo. Maybe they say, you know what, you sign up for the annual pass, you get the next expansion, Hearthstone beta, and you're in for a year.
Wasn't there something with Mists of Pandaria? Didn't like anybody who wanted access to that got it? Wasn't there some
For
kind
what?
of thing? Mists of Pandaria beta?
There's Raptor, but that was done every time.
I seem to remember one of their betas. Anybody who wanted in basically got in for it.
I don't know. Maybe towards the end they had like. I mean, they went open beta towards the end. Maybe. I'm sure.
No, not really. It was just really accessible
Yeah. That
towards
might be
the
true.
end. Like
Yeah,
you
because
had
they
Was
want
it
as many
tons of
people as they can.
giveaways.
Was that also attached to the annual pass?
No,
I'm pretty sure it was.
It might have been. Yeah. I mean, people are
Was it?
saying with
Yeah.
annual
I
pass.
was at BlizzCon
Yeah,
last
chat
year when they
room-
announced it, and I think
Chat
that
room
it
is saying.
was,
Chat room is saying, yeah,
Yeah.
it had annual pass
That's
and
the-
Diablo 3.
That sounds
that's
right.
actually the big reason why when they announced it, like I was at the BlizzCon announcement there where they told you, we're unveiling annual pass, and this is what's so great about it. And I signed up for it not for Diablo because honestly, I played Diablo like 5 times and I was done with it.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
for that.
I mean, I looked at it as I'm getting a free game. I'm gonna buy that game anyways. I was gonna buy Diablo 3, so I might as well just say, you know what? I'll get it for free. I'll get a
I
mount.
still bought it.
I'll
You can
get-
see it behind me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did. So maybe it's not out of the question. If they did well with the annual pass, that they say, you know what? You get the new expansion for free. You get access to the Hearthstone beta. You get a mount. You get whatever else. I mean, they could throw a couple little in-game things in there and not be a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the direction they go. That would be. I'm sure a lot of people would sign up for the annual pass for that. I know I would, but I could see that being a thing. How did we transition to that?
No idea. Hearthstone?
Yep, the in-game
Beta.
store, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's it. In-game store. No one really maybe some people think it's gonna happen.
maybe
but
they could sell achievements like Portal Jockey in the in-game store.
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
that would be good.
Is that
Maybe.
another shout out to Total Deletion?
I'm doing it at some point, whether you bastards help me or not. I need that achievement, so I'm not even an achievement hunter, but
When we do it, can we make sure not to invite Total Deletion?
no, I'm not doing that. We'll take him with me. He's been helping me get my Shadowmourne. Because I like old legendaries. I wait till like they're out of the main game for 2 patches or 2 expansions. All right, so speaking of the betas and things like that, let's jump into what we did on Monday. We had some PTR testing again. And I was there for all of them this time. You guys got you gave me the rating bug again.
We did.
So I was there. We can start. Do you want to start in order or just pick them out?
Pick your favorite one.
My favorite one would be Malkarak. That was my favorite.
How do you spell Malkarak?
With an M.
How do you spell it?
With an M. I told you. It's fine. Malkarak, like that.
Sound it out.
I did. So I think the reason I loved this fight was it kept me as a mage really engaged in doing all sorts of different things. I could see how it would be frustrating for melee or for less mobile classes. But Squishy, do you want to? How about you give us just as I'm saying this, let's just let you give a quick rundown of how that boss works.
All right. So the boss itself is quite simple. There's not too many mechanics in it. The first thing he does is there's like 6 sections of the room, and throughout the fight he will slam down on 3 sections. And after those 3 sections have been slammed, he will then light up those 3 sections again and instantly killing any player on those 3 sections. So it's kind of a memory game there. Additionally, all healing goes towards an absorb shield instead of actually healing the players, so it's kind of you only have your health bar, your full health bar, to completely survive the phase. Now, you do that, it takes about 2 minutes, and then you have a shorter 1-minute phase 2 where you simply just stack up and heal some really, really large amounts of damage. And then you repeat phase 1 again with the memory game, repeat phase 2 again, and then if you don't kill him by then, he enrages and wipes you.
Oh, favorite.
Dun dun dun.
So, I really enjoyed those little puddles that you had us running
I didn't
into.
mention those.
No. Nope.
I figured you'd want to, since you're like.
That was my
EFF.
favorite part. I just felt such. It's been a long time since, as a mage, I felt like I was an integral part of a fight that as in a raid that I can remember, where it was like, oh shit, there's. I can't. How many times was it when we were like, all right, we're going to transition to the memory. You know, Simon Says here. Don't be in. We had the like colors marked out around in a circle, and we're like, don't be in red, purple, or gold. And I'm running away from red, and it was like, oh yeah, he spawns these puddles, and people are scrambling back, and I'm running back halfway across the map, blinking and blazing speed back to these puddles to try and soak the damage. It was a lot of fun doing that. Like usually as a mage, it's kind of like lust, frost bolts, or worse, arcane blast, arcane blast, arcane blast, arcane blast, arcane blast. Arcane power.
Is that why you switched to fire?
Yeah, briefly, and then I realized that as yes total, I did not have enough crit.
That's why I switched to priest. I was a mage for the first year.
Oh,
Well, isn't Disc Priest at this point Holy Fire, Smite, 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 Smite,
Yes,
Holy Fire,
but
Smite, Smite, Smite.
I like
Smite.
smiting. I've always been, honestly, I was doing that before it was even like, because I was just having fun, DPS healing. It's fun.
yeah. I mean, that fight gave me something to do. I don't know. As a tank, Squishy, was it fairly simple? It was just a tank swap, I think.
Tank swap on a debuff. Surprise, surprise. That hasn't been done before.
No. What about as a melee DPS, Xizta? What do you think?
Wasn't too bad. They had some of those pools you were talking about. They spawned in melee range, and kind of a lot of confusion. We're like, all right, well, Daedrus was in there, and he's like, all right, I got one, and then I forget. I think Squishy or Umi was actually trying to take one, and it was clustered.
Did you kill
So
Spree?
it was a little mind blowing for the melee.
Yeah,
Does Killing Spree kill
we
you on
couldn't
the
get our
fight?
shit together. Killing Spree did not kill me on the fight. No,
That's good. It's a fight. Plus
Killing
one for
Spree
the fight.
killed
then.
me on the other two fights, though.
Sounds like that Finn
Well-
could re-look at that one fight then. You're
But-
not doing something right.
Now the fun part about this guy is he had a pretty cool model. I thought as like, he's just like a mutated orc thing. I did like the model, and that didn't
Kind of like
turn.
what we've seen in the Secrets of Ragefire scenario.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not
thought
really
of
a
that.
unique model, but it's one that hasn't been used a whole lot.
Yep. And then we found out this cool thing afterwards, where we could, through a clever use of game mechanics, we could go exploring, which is pretty entertaining and see some of
Yeah.
this stuff. So we did that guy for a while. We got to phase 2 a couple times, but I don't think, as far as tuning goes, what do you think? There was a couple things we saw, I think, right, that you were like, maybe they could tone it down here and there. And I think
That
they
was
even
the
did.
9th boss. So it's the first boss of Wing 3. Just remember that.
That's true. But I mean, as far as normal rating goes, I thought maybe they did end up changing the basically the memory game part, right? Didn't they slow that down so you have a little bit of a chance to get out of that?
We have no idea. We haven't seen it again.
Oh,
No.
I thought I saw
Did-
somewhere where they were.
Did they state whether or not the graphic is going to go away? Or
They
if it's
never
gonna
stated
stay?
anything.
So we
My
don't know. 'Cause
assumption.
in our testing, when he hit the ground and you had this arcing smash come down, it would be invisible, and then you wouldn't know where it was. So then when it comes for the final phase where he lights them all up, it's if you weren't paying attention, if you didn't have markers around, it was a surprise. If you didn't remember, you're gonna die. So I hope it stays that way. To be completely honest, I could see an LFR, I could see them lighting it up, but I hope in
Yeah,
final
I think-
mode it stays up.
My assumption from, since they didn't say anything like Arcing Smash was incorrect and should stay remaining on the ground, I think it is correct for normal and heroic, and maybe for flex and what is it, LFR, they'll stay on the ground, or they won't, and they'll just make it not hurt at all. Now, do you think they could change the memory game for heroic?
Yes.
If so, how?
I could see him arcing smashing everywhere, the entire floor. And it lights up in the pattern in which he hit.
Mm.
Oh,
So
so
it
like
actually
you
is
have
a
to
game of Simon
so a
Says.
safety dance.
More
I
or
love
less,
the
yeah.
safety dance.
That'd
How
be
cool
kind
would
of
that be for Heroic if they actually did that?
I
I would like that a lot better.
can see that. It's sort of been done, but it would be fun. I think they usually they need to add another mechanic. I
It's
think.
been done, but it hasn't because it's been done in a preset pattern of 1, 2, 3,
True.
4, 3, 2, 1. This one is blue, green, red, yellow, purple. We don't know if you don't remember that, and then it's going to change the next time. And yeah, it would be interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. I think they're also going to add an entirely new mechanic because it wasn't a lot there, and for being the first boss of the third wing, I'm sure there'll be more to that. Maybe some pink elephants or something like they did.
I, to be honest, with this shortened range of 6 minutes, it might be one of those just here's a pseudo patchwork fight. You
Yeah.
need this DPS to beat the boss, and might be one of those roadblocks for top end guilds.
That could be it. You could be right. It could be one of those gear check. Check it out. Let's do it.
Yeah, like
like those
Altraxian from
fights.
Dragon Soul. That stuff.
Don't talk about Dragon Soul.
All right. So let's jump over to Siege Crafter. That was a fight that a lot of us had another fight that we had a ton of fun. Like most of these fights were really engaging and a lot of fun. This one was could get a little hectic when you were learning it, especially going in there not really knowing what was going on and just jumping into a fight and trying to figure it out.
Conveyor belt.
Yeah, the conveyor belt was a lot of was different. It was interesting. At first,
Would
you
you
get
like
up there.
It completely followed realistic.
Oh God! All right, hold on. Before we even get into that, Squishy, can you give us the brief overview of this fight as well?
Well,
Just give us
okay,
the
so-
generic thing.
As the first boss in Wing 4, he definitely earned his place in terms of number of mechanics and complexity. So the room is pretty confusing at the start. So you have your center area. When you walk in, there's a conveyor belt to your left and a conveyor belt to your right. If you jump in the warp pipes, like Mario style, you will pop out on the conveyor belt to the left during the fight, where you're able to kill one of 3 weapons. The weapons each do their own thing. Some are more important than others, and they don't have that much health. But on the conveyor belt, there are, we can call them checkpoints. There's
Basically.
about 4 or 5 of them checkpoints on the way down, and each of these have comprised of laser beams. And there will be 3 laser beams active on each checkpoint, and you have to kind of frogger your way in and out of them while DPSing the weapon on the way down before you reach the end.
So this is basically crossing Super Mario with Frogger.
and shooting things and Contra. Yeah, it was the first couple times you go up on that conveyor belt, you're kind of like, gotta hurry up and kill things. I gotta move, and I was moving too much because I'm a caster, and now it's spawning on the other side. I'm gonna try and
Right.
jump in this tube. I missed the tube.
My absolute favorite part of it was he periodically throws these saws down, and the saw he'll throw down, it'll spin in place or whatever. And they're, I think, in the second phase of the conveyor belt stage, there's a magnet on there, and your team is potentially supposed to select this magnet. There's 3 different objects you could choose to kill, and if you didn't kill the magnet and it made it to the other conveyor belt, it would activate, and all of a sudden these whirling saw blades would start flying to the magnet and decapitate anybody in its path. Like instant death.
Yep, and you had to choose these things fairly.
Quickly.
Yeah, you got to choose and figure out which ones you need. I don't know.
Right.
I know the missile was one that we were like, you don't want to leave that up because
Yeah.
that gets annoying.
The missile was like a
everywhere.
pseudo World in Flames from Ragnaros. And we know how raid groups tended to handle World in Flame on Ragnaros.
Yep.
So that one was a big, every time it's up, it must die.
By
Then there
fire
was
be
just a
purged.
laser beam that chased a player, which was kind of annoying because they decided to choose a red ground void zone when the floor was red. So that was
They've
awesome.
been doing a great job this whole instance of matching the the circle ground effect with the color of the floor. Like almost
Yeah.
every single encounter, they've nailed it. It's pretty much an identical match.
You're welcome, colorblind people. It's
Phil,
awful.
aka Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this fight was it was a ton of fun. The funny part about it was me and Squishy trying to deal with jumping into the tube after the conveyor belt to leave the conveyor belt. Because it just throws physics out the window.
No, it followed physics perfectly. I never missed the pipe once. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, I would go, like, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna jump off, and this momentum's carrying me, it's gonna just I'm gonna go right into this, and I just jumped straight off of the conveyor belt, and now I'm in the lava.
Here's a pro tip. You probably didn't notice this. This is actually why I didn't ever fall off. If you stayed on the conveyor belt long enough, he would pull you off the conveyor belt himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Back
a
onto the
DPS
ground.
loss.
Whatever.
It is.
I mean,
Whatever.
Not really, because for a melee, I'm jumping into the pipe and I'm starting in the back of the room. If I wait an extra like 3 or 4 seconds, he pulls me to him. So he's actually getting me there faster.
I guess it depends on how quickly you kill the stuff on the conveyor belt, but yeah, jumping back into that tube was a boss in itself for me. It took me quite a bit to get used to that. I know there's not like a heavy physics engine in WoW, so I can't really complain, but that was
Do you think Titan?
mind blowing at some points. Like the first time I did it, I was like, "How did I miss? What? Why am I down here?" And then Squishy, same problem. It's like, damn it, I missed.
I'm studying physics, so it made sense in my mind. It didn't make sense on paper. It's okay. As a tank, you don't go up there, and well,
Yeah.
I don't need to go up there in the future.
Yep. And what about India? Have you checked out any of these fights? I know you weren't there with us. But,
No, I'm bummed that I wasn't because it sounds like would have been interesting to heal, and especially the first one
I
that you
think
discussed.
We have
flex
some more
rating with you is
PTR
going to be.
testing
You're going to love
tomorrow
flex
if
rating.
you're around.
I am around tomorrow.
So
So
maybe we could get you in.
PTR testing. If you're around.
1:30
Yeah, just
Eastern.
text me and yell droid at me.
1:30 Eastern. And what was the other one? Is it 7
7.
Eastern?
It's
Cool.
normal, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just be careful. It pulled me into wanting to raid again, and I probably will be raiding again.
You're going to be flexing.
Yeah, I'll definitely be
Yes.
flex rating. I might be looking for
Yeah.
10-man normal as well.
With newer content, I'll get, especially if it's good for healing, because I like challenging fights, and the way Squishy was describing the first one, it sounded like it would be a good heal. But
I think
I don't think I'll ever go back to raiding the way that I used to.
no.
The
I
most
don't-
challenging of all the encounters so far, I believe, was actually the other one we tested.
so the third
The
one.
one,
I don't think that was not that bad.
I don't think that was that bad. That's
Only
that's-
because there's so many of them, each with their own mechanics and their own priority system, that until you get this which one is more dangerous down, we were kind of doing it on the fly. There's just so many to remember.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I could see this being even crazier on Heroic.
let's have Squishy, our go-to overview guy. How about
Okay.
you give us the overview of these guys, then we'll go into why this will be.
Why are
a
you
little bit more
picking me
challenging.
for this job?
I think you like doing it.
All right. Well, we all remember those lovely paragons from the Dread Race, who gave us daily quests and stuff like that. Well,
see a
we
pattern so far.
probably all have exalted reputation, but we're somehow at war with them, and we're killing all 9 of them. All 9 of them have their own abilities, and there are 3 of them up at a time. And every time you kill one, another one joins the fight. So it's just a endurance fight with 9 total bosses, each with around 3 to 4 of their own abilities. And it just becomes a mess.
And every week, the combination that you start with is completely random.
Yep. I could see this fight being like a piece of cake on PTR though. Like I see this being like because they have such little
You mean
health.
LFR?
Yeah, LFR. I'm sorry. On LFR, I see this just being like They have so little health. Just people are just gonna like blow through these. It's gonna be like almost ignore these things. There's a very few that they're gonna be like, just pay attention to these like 3 abilities when they come up, and don't get mind controlled, and we're good to go. Just blow these guys up.
The one with the little kuchongs, the ads. I think that'll be fun for LFR.
Yeah.
Considering Sophist, what happened the first time when that boss spawned? Would you like to tell everyone what happened?
Oh yeah, that was good. I was over there. I'm trying to stay away from people. We figured out that I could ice block away and not have to deal with an entire mechanic. So I wait till the mechanic starts, I ice block the thing away, and then I just stay. I was staying a healthy distance away from the raid. We kill one of the paragons, and the next one spawns, and he spawns a mind control ad on my face.
And what happens when you get too close to these mind control ads, Sophist?
I'm pretty sure. Well, they're fairly self-explanatory. I did die. I know that very, very, very quickly.
Yeah. You get
Boom.
eaten.
Yeah.
You get eaten by it, and then it turns into a tiny little cute kuchong into a massive beast
Yeah.
that starts swiping it.
It just starts going nuts on everyone, and yep.
Guess who was next in line to get eaten?
Yeah, we can guess. Yep. Right for Xizta. Yep. Yeah. That fight was a little. It didn't seem that bad. It really didn't. It just seemed like another one of those fights where I was like, I think on normal or flex, we're just gonna, you know what I mean? Once you get a firm grasp on the order of the 9, it's just getting through them and seeing each thing, because none of them were that difficult.
The one that I liked the most was, I think he was the calculator or something. It was the guy who threw debuffs on you, and it was like you'd get a color, a number, and an icon. It was like 2 blue drum, and then he would pick 2 of these things, and he'd say, split all the pairs on banging a drum or something like that. That would flash up, and anybody who had a drum or the number 2 would get this chain link to them, and it would spread across any of these people. And at one point, the first one we almost made a pentagram. It was kind of crazy. Not intentional, it just happened. That's the way we were all placed out. And if you moved, or if somebody moved into those lasers, they were pretty much dead. 10-man, this seems like it's something that is fairly trivial, but I could see it being pretty crazy on 25-man.
Well, the thing is, you're only ever linked to 2 people. Like, it makes a giant chain out of all the players.
Right.
Who, if everybody spreads out, it's a giant circle. So you're only ever done with 2. However, heroic 25-man, you're linked to 3 people, and he calls out 3 objects. So a color, a number, and a shape.
Yeah.
Which means that there's more people involved, and you're attached to more people. So it's no longer a circle, it's now a
Pentagram?
circle with lines down the middle.
Everywhere. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, the other thing with him was, in 10-man, at one point we were like, this isn't so bad. We're getting pretty good. We stay pretty spread out. As long as we don't move when he calls this stuff out, it's not a big a deal. But he does something else that makes him more of a priority, where you have to kind of focus him. I believe he takes away like a flat percentage of someone's health every so often, which is rough, especially if he goes, hey tank, did you just take a big hit? Lose 35% of your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Dead
other
tank.
part of that ability is if he hits someone with that ability that is under 25% health, they're dead automatically.
Yep. So
it's kind of rough.
But it's just a matter of, like I said, once you get through them all, once we get a chance to see all 9, it's going to be pick the order. You'll know the priorities when someone comes down, if they're a high priority. Some weeks are going to be a little rough, I think, because you're going to end up with a bunch of high priority dudes all out at the same time. But that's kind of the nature of the RNG boss spawns. You know what I mean?
So if Indy joins us tomorrow, Squishy, what do we have to look forward to for testing tomorrow?
Well, we are very proud that Indy can join us tomorrow if possible. With the Shaw of Pride.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoyed that one. I know you did.
I did. I'm not Pat Crane. I actually like the cheesy puns.
Okay.
No.
Are there any ledges that you can fall off of on this boss?
We have no idea.
I don't know.
I doubt it, but We have no idea.
We'll see.
Do we
if
know
I
which
can-
room this is taking place in? Is this taking place in the Titan chamber from
Nope,
the
it's
heart
after the Titan
scenario?
chamber.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we've got the Shaw Pride and
The Iron Juggernaut.
Iron Juggernaut, which is what is
It's
that?
a
What time are you
siege
guys
tank.
thinking?
Oh,
The PTR, it's at a fixed time. It starts 1:30 Eastern and 7 Eastern, I believe.
Right.
so anyone else that wants to do it, get in there. There's tons of people. If you want to PTR test, get on the PTR and just. If you have it, literally, it reminds me of when AQ40 the doors unlocked. Like, there's so many people there. It's just people lined up waiting to get in there and PTR test. Plus,
Yep.
Blizzard really needs. It's nice for them to have all that information. It just leads to a better raid.
Yep.
So we're kind of behind here. So let's go on to the.
Can I ask you a
other
question real
piece.
quick, Sophist?
What's up?
Do you like driving trains?
Oh, I love driving trains.
Do you have a conductor hat?
I don't.
I was just gonna
I
ask
have
you
a
that.
hat.
Damn.
Hold on, I'm leaving.
BRB 30
Hold
minutes.
on, I'm leaving. I love it.
He has to have
Gone.
one.
I don't have a conductor hat,
Oh, he actually left?
Yeah, he got up and walked off.
but I have this.
Could you imagine if he just had one laying around?
I have my.
He said he was gonna get one.
I've got my Air Force hat. I don't know if you can. It's.
That's pretty close.
That's the closest thing I have. That's it. This is my
That's
train
pretty
conductor
close.
hat. We
There
used to
you
call
go.
them the bus driver hats.
Looks like an ossifer hat.
Yep. Yeah. So I guess we should talk about that stuff. We've got. What the hell did I do this week? Now that I have the train hat, we should probably talk about why I have a train hat. Or we don't have to. I mean, if
We could just leave everybody.
that's
in the
it,
dark
I have a
as to
train
why I
hat.
bring
That's
that
it.
up.
We're done. No, if some of you guys stopped by to see, I had a little bit of I hadn't streamed in a while and was like, you know what, I'm going to stream something. I don't want to get anything too crazy. Someone had bought me a long time ago Train Simulator 2013. So I decided to stream Train Simulator 2013. Because I had all of, 3 minutes time played
Well,
or
that was
something
nice
like that.
of you to play a game that someone bought for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody does that.
Yep. So there was a Train Simulator. What did I do? I think I beat one. No, I don't think I beat any of them. Never mind.
Beat it? You mean by
Both had the
crashing
exact same
head on
ending.
into another train?
I'm not sure if you've ever been more thrilled in your life, but if I get a chance to stream Train Simulator, swing on by. It's quite breathtaking.
It's a lot of Sophist just driving full speed ahead
I-
while tweeting on his phone.
Literally, it's
doodling on a pad.
Oh.
This is
paying
my-
any attention to the screen whatsoever,
I am so
And then-
sad that I missed this.
and then just collides head on with another train.
Yeah.
Drop
Oh, there's a
130
oh
miles an
god.
hour.
Yep, or flipping off the train track. Yeah. Well, you get that job has got to be the most boring job in the history of boring jobs. You go forward or backward. I'm sorry if any of you are train conductors.
Do we have any train conductors in the
Yeah.
audience today?
However, you go forward or backwards. And then I had a damn train that kept braking because you couldn't go forward for too
The
long.
alarm kept going off.
Yeah.
The alarm kept going off. The e-brake was getting pulled.
Stuck. I
Like,
don't even know. It would just stop. And then I got it going so fast towards the end that I missed where I was going. And as I was trying to figure out how to stop it, I just ran into the back of another train.
Oh, that's perfect.
Now, Sophist, for all these train enthusiasts we have in chat here with us, can you tell them what the low price of all the DLC would cost them?
It's true. If you want all the thing, I think it's like $2,000. I don't even know how.
$2,500.
I don't
yeah.
know.
What?
It's ridiculous. It's more DLC. I think it's got to be the most of any game that I know of. I don't
It's
know.
the most of any game I've ever seen.
It's amazing.
You can get all of the trains, all of them.
Could you imagine if Tom was obsessed with the trains as he was with his pets?
I think he should
I would
be.
officially be broke. I'd be taking a bank loan out to buy all the DLC.
So yeah, we did that. That was super exciting, and I'm sorry if I offended any of you train conductors in chat.
They seem very heavily offended.
The world needs train conductors still. If you don't like their job,
You still need them. You gotta go.
You
You
still
gotta go
need them.
over the place. The other thing I played was Octodad. I don't know if you guys have ever
How am I
heard of
missing all of these?
Octodad. I was a boss in Octodad. I don't know. The only time I had a problem was when I got my leg stuck under a door and couldn't move. I got pinned, so I had to restart. I was a boss. I was just through lasers. I was cleaning rooms. I found
He
bananas.
was Tom Cruising his way through these lasers. It was ridiculous. He literally just ran straight through them and was like ducking, and feet were flying all over, all 8 of his feet. Oh, it was
God.
Yeah, it's just like a realistic physics, supposed to be like a physics game where you control
Realistic.
legs. I
Do
don't
you know-
realistic.
Yeah, it's super
Is
realistic.
this another gifted game?
No,
It's free to play.
It's free.
Oh, okay. Well, but we can learn from this. What we can just gather from this, though, people in chat and listening after, is that if you send him a really ridiculous game, he will play it. So let's all do that. Let's all find
No.
the most ridiculous games on Steam and watch him play.
I've played some pretty ridiculous games this week. Octodad was pretty ridiculous. Fun.
For any
I'm
of those
sure it
who
was
are
fun to watch.
interested in it, you can go to octodad.com and you can download the game.
Octodadgame.com.
Octodadgame.com. That's
I don't know what Octodad.com is. I don't.
Well, how did we make this segue? Anyways,
I don't know.
let's-
Dom was
He
trying
said-
to host
Dom
the
said
show.
train.
That's what happens when Dom hosts the show.
Yep.
He derailed the conversation.
Ooh, with a train pun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. I'm going to shut the stream off if we get another shitty pun.
Shut it down.
So yeah.
Shovel some more
Octodad.
coal in, and let's steamroll our way through the rest of the show.
I'm excluding you from this. I'm just gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Do something. So Octodad. What else I played? Clop and Quap and the climby one. Those were all those make someone move, make
Grip.
someone climb. Yeah, those are interesting. The unicorn one was fun.
was
Easiest
this in
to
the
just
show notes?
No.
Did I miss this?
absolutely
Nope.
no. This is what we talk about. We talk about what we were playing. I could talk about League of Legends for the next hour if you want. If you guys want
No.
like a 2-hour special, but no one else here. Everyone that plays League of Legends with me is in chat. So
I could talk about Fable.
Fable. We are going to do a Fable show.
We will get
We
to
will
it.
do a Fable
we will get
show.
to it, because
Indeed.
I am getting ready to play soon. I am.
Yeah.
And he's going to be doing some real playthroughs, even if we have to pester him, because he did the Last of Us. Now we just got to get him to do some other stuff and stick with it and be
I
less
finally finished
ADHD
Last
than
I'm telling
me.
you,
Yes, I
it's really good series of games. You'll like it.
I ended up, I think it was, how many people did I have by the end of that Last of Us? I don't even know. There was like 300 plus people in there, maybe even more. I don't even know. I had a lot of people watching my stream of The Last of Us.
You're sort of a
I
big
just-
deal. Is that
You know
you're
what though? You
Yeah.
tried to kill innocent little wild giraffes, and then Sophie was trying to kill in Tomb Raider
What?
all the deer.
Oh, that was part of the quest. I had to. I can't
But
not. It was
before
like
you
2
knew-
seconds into the game.
Before
That
you knew it was
giraffe
a
had it coming.
quest, both of you, before you knew that you could even do that,
I
you guys
am
knew
the
I was
apex
watching.
predator.
All right, Dom. Did you want to talk about this Stormcrow mount a little bit before we sign off? Because I think we're hitting our 1 hour mark, or we've passed it at this point. So we should wind stuff down.
So you just went from killing giraffes into Warcraft mounts.
Yeah. Well, you killed the giraffe, so I'm gonna kill the talk, and we're.
And I'm going to
Move
fly
on.
away on my Stormcrow mount.
Yeah.
No, there was this data mined Stormcrow. It's just, there's really not too much on it. It was, I don't know, it looked really cool. And I'm hoping it's not a Blizzard store mount. Could it possibly be the Heroic Garrosh mount? I don't know. Be weird.
Could be.
I don't see any tie-in for Siege of Orgrimmar,
Yeah,
but
it'd be a little odd. Are there any? Yeah, I don't know. It seems like most likely is it's gonna just be a purchase this mount.
Blizzard store.
Yeah.
Could it possibly be a reward from one of the new world bosses? Who knows?
It could be. Hmm. What else? The only other thing I wanted to talk about was I saw as we were going into here, the MMO champion had the animations for the legendary cloaks, and they look
The
pretty,
wing procs, yeah.
yeah, they look pretty cool.
What?
They look pretty cool. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. They look
They're
look
gonna
pretty
give
cool.
people wings?
All sorts
yeah.
of stuff. Yeah, basically,
You get
it's a
wings
legendary. So
to fly across a broken bridge where you will be able to fight an exclusive boss, and only people with the legendary cloak can fight this boss.
yep.
So
I like
the
that my wings are
Stormcrow mount,
special.
So
It
what?
totally looks like the Druid flight form animation in Skeleton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
does.
actually looks like it just retextured.
It could be. It could be. All right.
I know
Well,
there
this
is an icon for it. The icon was data mined as well as the mount itself, so it's something that should be hitting. It's kind of flown under the radar. I haven't seen anybody talking about it, but
Yeah.
you're the pet and mount guy. So we'll keep an eye on that and maybe talk about it next week.
it seems like this would tie more into Throne of
Throne
Thunder.
of Thunder.
You know, so
Yeah. Maybe it's
don't
a
know.
druid quest to go get
maybe they're gonna go back and retroactively fit anybody who got the leash in feat of strength for defeating it on normal before siege.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool because I love that mount.
that. So since we completely derailed the last part of the show with trains
there you
and
go.
mounts,
Choo choo.
I think we're done here unless you guys have anything that we
Aw.
should talk about.
Goofy says
Um,
Twitter questions. Did you
Ah,
get it?
Twitter questions.
Did
Look
you
at
get
that. I realized. I knew I forgot something. Let's
I
see.
was just reading chat.
No, that's good stuff.
Good.
Twitter questions. I'm updating.
I should have opened the Twitter previously.
It's fine. I almost completely forgot about it. All right, so what do we got here? We have a Twitter question. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. I only see we got one from Luke, and let me. I'm just going to read it. I don't even know what this says. At the HXC, can Indy Garona tell something that was better in Classic that doesn't involve the people she played with?
What's that supposed to mean?
Tell us about something that was better in Classic aside from the people.
Well,
Like,
that's
a
tough because
feature.
I would go straight for rating, and that would be the people I played with. But I will always say that I enjoyed rating more when it was 40 men, and 40 people.
So
And that has a lot to do with the people I played with, but it's
Exactly.
not because of them. It was just because I thought rating back then was better.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I think what he's basically what we want out of this is is there a feature that you would like that was like a feature back then as opposed to like I just liked getting with 40 people, like the community like was
Yeah.
better in vanilla. Is there anything in there that you really, or is it just the nostalgia that
It's more
that
than that.
says?
I think that now everything is just so accessible. Like before and you guys are gonna pick on me and make fun of me. I know. I would get rid of a lot of the things that they've made. Like for instance, they gave like that have group will travel thing, but there's still so many other ways to get everywhere quickly. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe I would make something harder. Maybe I would take away refreshment tables and soul wells.
Please don't do
Of
that.
all the things, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna go with like LFR or something.
Yeah.
Or
No.
like
If I had to pick something, it would be LFR.
I never really used LFR that much until I stopped
Gotcha.
rating normally.
Would you say like I'm trying to think. There was something I was going to bring up.
Yeah, they removed it. I know they've removed it. I was saying, why would they do that? If,
There's a lot of people that say flying kind of broke some of the community.
it took away the ability to experience the zones the way that they were designed, at least the older ones.
like you
which
don't
is-
you don't experience that zone. You just fly over it, and you don't care about the atmosphere of that zone anymore. You just
Not anymore.
go somewhere.
No.
Yeah, there's that. I have seen, and there's some decent arguments for that, I guess. I enjoy being able to fly somewhere. It's just very convenient. But my biggest gripe would be with LFR at this point, I think, if I had to pick one. I don't know.
I would agree with that.
I think LFR is fine. I just think it needs a lockout on it so it can stay for the people that want to do it as their sole purpose of seeing content, and to keep the hardcore players out of it to complain, because that's all they do is they're like, oh, it's just another one to run. Like they feel forced into it because they are forced into it. But if you remove that element from them, they don't have an argument anymore.
Why would they
Yeah.
do that? They're not going to do that, though.
No, I don't know. I don't want to get into this the LFR flex argument in the last 10 minutes of the show, because this will be a 2.5 hour show. Maybe
Dun, dun,
we'll do
dun.
it another time.
And I won't get into how, it was so different back then. There's no way of saying what one thing would change
Yeah.
it for me.
The whole feeling of vanilla was like this sense of exploration and discovery, and they kind of
Yes.
they got that back a little bit with Mists, and I think a lot of that had to do with you can't have flying until max level.
Yeah, that's nice.
That was not the case in the other expansions, and even for your alts, like I like it.
Thought Are you
but-
sure? I thought that was the case. They just retroactively went back and allowed you to fly with your afterwards.
Nope.
I thought initially you couldn't fly in a lot of those zones.
Well, at least this for Miss, it was
The last
you
expansion.
have to
divided
hit
with-
90 before you can fly.
That's what I mean. I thought that was the same for the other. I thought like
Nope.
Cataclysm. I
No.
didn't remember it being.
No, you could fly right off the bat in Cataclysm. You just had to go to the vendor and purchase the
Okay.
whatever it was called.
For Wrath, it was you need a max level, and then you can fly earlier.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I kind of don't mind that as much. We do it once and then it's fine. All right. We're hitting well over our time. So how about Xizta? You have any projects you got going on? Personal stuff going on right now that you want to let people know about?
Other than the redesign of the website that me and you were working on, that's pretty much time lately. I've actually been creating these title cards for the show, and they're actually a lot of fun to do.
Yeah,
So-
that was one of the, I was enjoying at least kind of watching it and trying to figure out what we were going to do for him.
Yeah.
Squishei, do you have any projects that you got going on?
Of course, always.
Of course, always NDA.
Yep.
Bring on Armstrong.
For now, but one should hopefully be out soon.
Cool.
TM.
Soon TM. All right. Indy, what about you? You got
Yes.
any projects you want to let people know about? I know you. I know you have at least one.
Well, are we talking about my Fable fan fiction?
Sure. Yeah. Anything.
I'm about 5 chapters away from wrapping the main one, and I'm actually really happy because it's gotten a decent following and people are like submitting fan art for it. So if you find me on fanfiction.net, my name's Angela CM there. You can definitely check out my story there. I will keep doing it, but maybe for different games. I was actually, you guys are going to laugh at me, I was actually throwing around an Illidan idea.
You were. Yeah.
Sorry.
See that?
Yeah.
Yes. Now you're going to be red.
Am I?
Aside
Yes.
from that, I'm looking forward to getting in with the PTR with you guys. So, I mean, you guys can always find me if you guys are. I always like to LFR and LFG with the viewers and just go pocket heal for you guys.
Cool. Yeah.
So-
If you have a link to your fanfic, throw it up in chat, and maybe we can put it in the notes under the video on the website when we get it up.
Yep.
Yep, and definitely also, on Twitter and Twitch, the same name as Indie Corona, and you guys, I'm happy to jump back into WoW. I'm like itching to get back in there and just heal anything and everything, even if it's PvP. Hit me up.
Cool. All right. As far as me, really, I streamed a little bit. It's kind of been taking a back burner. I had fun doing it, even though the games were ridiculous. And the website, which I've actually had fun working on. It was a lot of back and forth on Skype with Dom trying to figure out what we were doing, but
You
it
guys
turned
did
out pretty
amazing.
good. Turned out pretty good. I thought. And we got more coming with it. It's gonna hopefully we're gonna grow that website into something that's more than just this, which is should be fun.
I don't know if you could actually put a preview of the site up for people to take a look at real quick.
I did show it in
Show it
the
again.
pre-show, but let me see if I can get it up.
You guys did a great job, and I love the... Dom, are you doing all the little pictures on it?
Yeah, I've been doing those. Sophist has been doing the text for them, which the text I'm actually not going to be putting on the title cards for the website, but the text will be on the YouTube links for the videos. So
There
there'll
we
be
go.
the
I think
thumbnail
it's
image.
awesome.
Go to one of these. You got the stream over here. You can actually see us. It's pretty soon it's going to flip over to what you're seeing, and you're going to get Inception.
Ooh.
Stream
But
Inception.
I mean, you can flip through the most recent stuff. Like I said, pretty soon, hopefully, it'll be more than just the HXC. So we're looking to add stuff onto that. You can click on these guys right here, and it brings you to the actual show. You should be able to link right to the YouTube link to check it out right there. Pretty convenient. Some of the stuff needs some work. But also, check out these guys right here. Xizta.com, Realm Maintenance, Game Breaker. All good stuff.
Definitely check out Realm Maintenance Podcast. They are coming up on their 50th episode.
All right. Now, if I can find my stuff and we can stop looking at our website, that'd be sweet.
I
So,
like how many trogs that there are, just saying.
There's a lot of trogs on our website.
there is,
Excellent.
maybe there'll be more. We could just throw them everywhere, like all over. Have them pop up at you.
No, because that'd be a scary game.
401 Trog not found. So, oh god, I'm getting the Inception noise.
You can find that website at www.thehxc.com.
Exactly. There is a contact page on there, so you can, if you don't remember what we say here, you can get there. It'll tell you where to go. But Xizta, where can people find you at on the interwebs?
Twitter at _ or Xizta _ sorry. Facebook at Xizta, twitch.tv/Xizta, and youtube.com/deadzizta, which is actually where these videos are being temporarily hosted until we get our own page up and running.
Yep. Indy, what about you this week? Where can the people